Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking on how to read and excel in any type of exams, standardized test, quiz, any type of assessment. Today I'm going to give you some clues on what to expect and how to practice for your exams and show to be sure on how you succeed in your exams. So I'm going to look at these steps, and one would be you should know the body or association body or the examiner, that someone who have set the assessment for you. So you should be able to recognize who the person that set or the organization that set this assessment. So we are looking at, for example, the GMAT assessment or EQUA, like a children assessment, PISA test, or WAEC, any type of exam. So you should be able to know, for example, WAEC, West African Examination Council, they are the people who set the exam. So this is what you should know. So you have to relate this to your schools as well. Any kind of assessment, you should know the professor's handouts, the professor's book, any resources related to the exams. I also use citizenship exams. So you should look for the countries you are planning to write the citizenship test. Look for the country's book on that talks about citizen. For example, Canada is a Discovery Canada, right? So look for the book or any resources like a video tutorial, any kind of thing that will help you. So that's the number one, to look for the resources and identify the examiner. So that's where you start, because if you don't know any of this, oh, that's a beginning of failure. Then secondly, you have to read these resources very, very well. You have to read it more than twice, at least 2 times. So why you should do so is, one, first reading will help you to give you a clue of what the book is talking about or the resources is talking about. Then second reading will help you to memorize, to review or what you have read, right? Revising what you have read. So, and the third reading helps a lot. By then you've known the paragraphs, the pages, or like the lines. You'll be able to master the lines. Yes, I know it's difficult for some people to read more than once or twice. Yeah, but my secret to this is, before, while, and after reading, you should pray. Pray for God's wisdom. Pray for Him to give you the grace to understand whatever you are reading. Because there are sometimes you read, it feels as if you are pouring water on the stone. Nothing is going in and nothing is, you've wasted your time. You feel like you've not even read anything. You read it more than 7 times, you feel like you've not read anything. The secret to this is, before you read, you have to pray, so that God will give you the wisdom, the grace to understand. You don't even need to read up to 3 times before you understand every line of the resources. So that's a secret. Then the third one is to look for, like I said, resources. And looking for resources includes any past questions or assessments from these examiners. So getting those past questions, past tests, past exams, like the previous ones, right? So if you have this previous prior test, it will really help you to know what to expect, like what this examiner used to set, right? So if you succeed in getting any previous assessment from the examiners, you are good to go. So getting that, review it. Review more than anyone that your hands can grab, right? Anyone that you can reach, both internet, even these days, some of the examiners, they post their quiz or assessment online. So you can just use the search engine, search for the assessment, how to get the past questions so that you have the clue of what you were expecting. So even some people, they have an app where you can help yourself to practice what to expect in the assessments, right? So it really helps a lot. It's the best thing. You look for the assessment, the prior assessment. So if you have it, you review it every time, like review is like reading the book as well. And without looking at the assessment, how they set the test or exams, it may not be clear for you to understand what you have read. So reading this will help you to understand, like revise the fourth time or the second time or the third time on the area to go back and revise. So you have to look for this assessment. Then the third one is this is very important. So after you've done this, make sure that you take a rest. So take care of yourself, give yourself a break, have a rest. Take time, so that what you have read will dilute. And you really need this. Like, look for any medication that can help you. Sometimes, like I myself, for example, I take milk, like when I'm feeling a migraine or pains in my head, right? I don't need to take any medicine or drugs. So I go fetch milk. I take milk. It really helps a lot, right? So, or calcium, anything calcium. I don't know about that's what I take, right? So you need a rest. You sleep at least 2 hours, right? Or during the day, in the afternoon, if you can. Just 30 minutes sleep anywhere near the tree, anywhere cool, quiet. You can just have a rest. It will really help you a lot. You cool your brain, right? Then you continue. Then the other one is um, you have, after the rest, you have to go back to the book or the resources that you have at hand. Go back, read it again. Now, this time as you're reading, you have read the questions, how the examiner sets the questions, right? As you are reading, bring the assessment, the quiz, close with the notes that you have, and look at a repeated question, like the question that they repeat all the time from the years, right? Like 3 or 4 years. Look for repeated questions, note them down, right? Keep, or maybe circle it or highlight it, right? So those repeated questions, you really need to read it well. Then the secret to this is, as you are reading these repeated questions and you see every word, if you are able to recognize each word in those questions, you are good to go. If not, make sure you understand every word in that question. If you can't understand, pick out the words, search for the meaning. When you search for the meaning, you'll be able to understand. In case you find yourself in a situation where the examiner maybe use a synonym or any related similar words, right? And you get confused. Maybe the examiner used the bigger grammar, or I don't know, you just get confused. So it's better to understand the meaning of those words, right? And you search the meaning, understand it, let it dilute on the brain, right? So that whenever you see that kind of question twisted anyhow, you'll be able to recognize it. So you'll be able to understand, oh, I've seen these questions before. So you'll be able to you should understand every question, every word in the question, especially for repeated questions, because the examiners, they would like to twist it just to wash your brain, right? And you get confused. It could be the same thing. So take note of this. The next step is before you go into the exam hall, you have to uh, review the past questions. Few, like those ones you jotted down that you think that, oh, this is here, this is here, this is here. Some of the examiners, they don't have time to, even if they will set new questions, it's just few, right? So what they do, especially the bigger organizations, there is no time. They just pick similar questions that they know that you should know or you should be aware of, right? So they just pick. So there is no time. So just pick those questions on the day of the exam. Pick those questions, read it over again, review it, review. This time you don't need to read the book anymore, right? So just keep reviewing the questions, keep reviewing the questions. Even the ones that maybe just a year old, it's better to review because you can find at least one out of it, right? And you can just do a 2 years gap, 3 years gap, like previous year, review it and prepare yourself. As you are reviewing it, you highlight those questions on the book. That's what you should have done before the day, right? Make sure you highlight the questions from the book so that you'll be able to memorize it, memorize the book that you have read, and get ready for the exam. So on the day of the exam, it's just to pray, right? And if something comes on your mind that you should look into, quickly go back and look at it. So you pray and you go into the exam, and I promise you that you will be different and successful in the exams that you have prepared for. I wish you good luck and thank you for watching my video. And I would like to thank you for keeping in touch with me. And if you're on YouTube, I'll ask you to subscribe to my channel and click on notification button. If you're on Facebook, please like my page, share the videos, and spread the news. Thank you and God bless. Bye.